So, we're moving to France in 90 days with 3 kids. And honestly, the to-do list is unhinged. Like, I've helped businesses to launch products and scale, and nothing I've done before has ever prepared me for this. I'm going to say it's going to be a challenge to do around everything else that's going on. And there is a mountain of work with relocating a family. But here's the thing, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to bring you along for the ride. Because if you've ever sat in your kitchen or you've ever sat at your cafe or just on your sofa and you've thought, what if we just went? Why don't we just go and live somewhere else? Then you're going to love this channel and where we're going. Because I'm Sue. I'm a mum of 3. I'm currently somewhere between very excited and terrified, but mostly in the doer mode, when you're just doing stuff. So for the next 90 days, I'm sharing everything, the visa stuff, the packing, the school, not panic, income planning, all of it, because the behind the scenes reality, I suspect, is very different than the blogs that you read. So go grab your coffee because we've got a lot to get through. And we're boarding now. Yeah. In this video today, I'm going to walk you through my 90-day roadmap, or my planned 90-day roadmap. I'm going to share what's on the list, what has surprised us already, and what I wish someone had told me earlier, because I've put together this 90-day checklist, and I've actually made it into a little file that you can download. The link is below. I wanted to do the hard work and then just save you figuring it all out, but also I don't want to forget anything. So by having it written down, it just saves that headache, doesn't it? That constant like, oh, I've forgotten something. Keep adding it to the list. Keep adding it. So this is going to grow. I'm sure of it. Okay, first up is the visa. And if you're moving to France from the UK or anywhere outside of Europe, post-Brexit, it's not as simple as it used to be. It's not like just popping over the road. I remember having friends move pre-Brexit and they didn't have to do any of this. So we are applying for a particular type of visa. This one's called a Passport Talent Creator d'Entreprise. Basically, this is a visa for if someone is wanting to move to France and open a business, and it's got like 2 stages to it. One is you have to apply that the business plan is approved by the internal ministry of France, and then second, you then submit it with the visa application and all your other supporting documents. So that's the case for this visa. So it's almost like this first stage is which visa is suitable for you, then complete the application form, which then gives you this unbelievable list of supporting documents. And now we've got to get through all these requisites. And as you can see, there's a lot, and I don't even know if all of them are needed. I numbered them so that I could organise this process, but that's just for Dave. So here goes. 90 days. Here we go. Wow. And in our case, we had to apply for approval of the business plan. Everyone has to apply for police certificates to say you haven't got a criminal record, check dates on your passports, because if they've run out, you've got to renew them, get your bank statements and things. There's actually a lot of time that goes into preparing the supporting documents. And I think that's what surprised me the most is I was expecting once I'd done the application to just sort of quickly go through the rest of it. And it didn't happen. This in itself, collecting all this stuff together, is going to take at least 8 weeks, I reckon, on my estimates. And then the other thing that's missing out of here is it doesn't talk about needing health insurance. So, and yet I've read everywhere that we need health insurance. So I'm going on the basis that we're getting health insurance, private healthcare. We need it as a family anyway. So I just need it for the visa as well, as I think. This is where it's going to get interesting, because everything that I'm sharing with you, this is my 90-day plan, but it might be that in 90 days I'm telling you, no, we needed to do this, we needed to do that. So keep watching, because if we miss something, You'll want to get an update on that. In fact, on the visa itself, because it's such a big file and there's a lot to create, I'm thinking of doing its own dedicated video. So just drop me a note if you're interested. Okay, now moving on to the next set of things to figure out, because the visa, I'm devoting a lot of time and energy to thinking about the visa, but there is like a whole load of other things on relocating, like the house. What do you do with your house in the UK? Do you sell it? Do you rent it? And I've got 2 reasons for renting it, and I might be wrong on this. One is in case it doesn't work out and we end up with, after 12 months being kicked out of the country and got to come back home. Number 2 is an income and something already on the UK property ladder. So because we're doing that, we've got to do painting, we're fixing leaks, we're doing the driveway, we've got to skip out the front and are literally just throwing all the rubble in and trying to do the front driveway. So on a really short time scale, alongside everything else, we've decided to finish renovating our house finally. Why not? We're crazy, aren't we? I think to get it ready for someone else to live here, we just need to paint it a lighter colour.
But what if I don't get to do this same colour on my wall in France? Because all 3 of us might not like it, and I might like it, but the other 2 might not.
I promise when you get your own room, you can paint it a wall in whatever colour you like. Okay, but for now this is going to be for someone else, and they might want to see it as a blank canvas. Is that okay with you? Now for the house chaos. As if everything else wasn't enough, is packing with 3 children who do not want to bin anything, who you have this idea, I'm going to have colour-coded boxes, I'm going to organise it like you would do a move in the UK, and then like your kids are just pulling stuff out of boxes. Now the tricky thing when you move to France is now, post-Brexit, because of taxes, we have to have like an itinerary of everything that's in there. So everything's got to be labelled, and I've got to have a checklist so that I can get it all signed off by the douane when we go through to say, we don't need to pay tax on it, import duty. So yeah, that creates a whole complicated thing, especially when you're packing a box and then your kids start taking toys out of it and going, I want to play with this, or is that in the bin bag? Don't put that teddy in the bin, I want to keep that. And it's just all interchanging because you're living in the space as well. Anyway, I have a few great tips that I picked up on doing my research, and I'm going to share them with you now. Okay, so I have done a ton of researching on this, and there's lots of gurus that have moved around the world many times over, and I thought, well, what is their advice for what you keep and what you get rid of? Because my kids would quite happily have me keep every single toy box in the house and everything, and so would my husband. But the reality is we can't spend £7,000 transporting all of our belongings to another country when we don't even need them or want them anyway. So I was like, well, what was the rules? And I got some hot tips for you that I learned. So the first one is IKEA furniture. Well, you can get that everywhere, or pretty much. I'm sure there's IKEAs across the world. Definitely in Europe. So we did a recce to France, and the prices aren't much different. A Billy bookcase is a Billy bookcase, no matter where you buy it from. So we are not transporting our Billy bookcases. That's my first tip. If you have any IKEA furniture, just forget it. It's not worth transporting. In fact, on that, anything that costs more to transport it than it would to replace it, just don't take it. So I've got like camping chairs out there. I just found camping chairs in Asda for £7. Why am I going to take camping chairs with me when I know I can probably replace them in France, probably for 20, because like everything's twice the price. But anyhow, it's still probably not worth taking them, especially because they're a little bit broken, which gives me an intro into the next bit of advice. So I was asking, well, how do you decide what to keep? And obviously everybody's different. I have a friend who moved from Colombia with 2 suitcases. So that kind of puts it into perspective what we're doing here. Like, do we really need to move with all these toys? Do I need all of these books? And I have boxes and boxes of books. So I was thinking, well, what's the deciding factor? And the first thing we needed to do is just really narrow down what must go with us. What we absolutely love is sentimental, irreplaceable, wear it all the time, use it all the time, need it. And sometimes that list can be really big, but sometimes when you drill down to it, as long as I've got passports, birth certificates, when the kids were born, little memories, tokens from that maybe, marriage certificate, then probably everything else really is just noise to that. You know what I mean? So and one of the websites says to have them in thirds. So you third your bucket. I'm not sure these odds kind of work out, because I asked my daughter to choose between 6 hats, and I said, most you can pick 2. We've got it down to 3, so that's half. So we need to still thin out. How many hats do you need? How many winter hats do you need, Anne? So the thirds rule is you have a third of your items that you're going to keep, that you must have, that you love, that you use, that are important. Then you have another third, which is you're either selling or charity shop. You know, the stuff that's good enough for somebody else to use, doesn't fit you anymore, you don't use it. It's English electrical items. Massive tip here. People were saying just don't take electricals. Just get electricals in the right country, safety reasons, but also like you've got the wrong plug on them. You've got to keep adapters all the time. So eventually your hairdryer packs in. Mine's nearly packed in. I can hear a funny noise and I was like, oh, well, I'm just not replacing it. It can go in the bin. We have a slight disagreement about the lawnmower, by the way, on this one. So let me know what you think about lawnmowers. So that's your other third, is the third to sell. So I've got vintage stuff going out. I've got school shoes going, all sorts of things. Then I've got furniture going as well. And then you've got your other third, which is the bin pile, the get rid of pile, the throw it in the skip, the take it to the tip because it's broken, it's never worn out, nobody wants it, nobody needs it, it can go in the bin. Here I've got a poof. My kids love drawing on this poof. You can probably see they love painting their nails on this poof. Emily does. They love just drawing on it and generally being messy with it. That can go in the bin. so that's an easy one. But somehow you've got to compartmentalize all 3 items. I mean, this is my charity shop. I'm like, this is what I'm doing with my charity shop stuff. I'm now just gathering it all together in this box because there's so many, and it's books that the kids never have read, didn't like, didn't enjoy, never going to read again. Obviously books I've kept. It's jigsaw puzzles because do you know what? You can buy jigsaw puzzles in charity shops all across the globe for pence. So I'm not going to transport a load of jigsaw puzzles. So this is my charity box that's going, and then these are my boxes that I'm putting all the stuff in. I have another tip for you though. So I have a carry bag over here, and I think I'm going to be quite popular at school, which never happens. I'm just not a popular mum. And in here is school clothes because, you know, I think there's going to be other parents that, like me, loathe the fact that we spend so much money on school clothes that I'm just going to give them all our school clothes. So as soon as we've got the visa through and we know we're definitely moving and the kids don't need them for school, I'm just bagging up school clothes. At the minute, it's all the small stuff that doesn't fit them anymore until they hand me down. So that's the other one. So school clothes, really nice thing to donate to the community centre, to donate to your swap shop or your local school shop, or just to other parents. And they're my top tips on the house because, as you can see, we are still mid-process. I mean, God, there's so much stuff to do, isn't there? I mean, look, and this cabinet here, yeah, that should be a hubby job, but I have a feeling I'll be moving it again. Of course, eventually I'll probably just start throwing things into a box because I already feel really guilty that I'm asking the kids to do a hard thing and then I'm saying, right, now you've got to bin half your things. So yeah, that's going to be a hard one. I just thought of something else that I need to add to my list there. So we'll add that in. The mental load, right, is absolutely enormous. I think I wake up in the middle of the night going, I've forgotten about this, or what about that? What about telling this person? So the other thing that's not even on the list is telling people, but it's really difficult because you're making decisions on the fly. You don't know it's 100% going to happen, but you know you're on a ticking time frame. So what I would say is with the move and with packing, one room at a time. And then when telling people, like I literally just picked a weekend and said, I'm just going to tell everybody this weekend. So every time I saw my mum, I saw my dad, I saw my brother, or I saw my sister, I would just tell them. I would just keep telling people until I thought, have I told everybody? And that just, it became one less mental pressure to take. And also, it's not certain because it's dependent on a visa application. So people can't really get too upset right now. They can just start to mentally prepare for it. And I'm a big believer on just being open and honest about what your plans are. And then everyone can get used to the idea and figure out how they're going to holiday with you, are they going to come and visit you, and how that's going to work. But yeah, it's going to be hard. That bit's going to be hard. Right, this is the bit that I think nobody talks about enough. And I think we talk about the practical side of schools and kids. So like getting them into a school, loads of people choose international school. We are going for a French school. And there's all the documents. You need your birth certificates, they're on the list. We need your passports. You need to be up to date with your vaccinations. So there's things like that that need to be thought about. Somebody said about getting school reports. I don't know. I don't have that. I don't think it's necessary, but we'll see. But it's also about the kids getting prepped mentally for it. I'm doing a lot of things with my kids at the moment that, is almost just outside of the checklist, where it's not just the language tutor or tutoring them or letting them listen to some French tapes. It's also about things like preparing them mentally for things being different. So I follow some Instagrammers who share what it's like over meal times with the kids at school, and I'm sharing that with them. And also, because I understand that everything is going to be difficult, I'm trying to mentally prepare them in the best ways that I can. Things like, what rewards do you want to do? What things do you want to try that's new? Where do you want to go? So my son has some cycle tracks that he's looked at that he really wants to go. My daughter would like to try horse riding. So aside from the really hard stuff, I'm trying to balance that with, well, what's the new experiences and adventures we get to have with each other? And that's, I think, really important. I'm really keen to sort of let them talk to me as often as possible. I ask them all the time. I tell them it's hard for me too. I know I'm making this choice for you, but that hopefully it's the right one. And although it's hard for me, I know that what they're worried about is slightly different and it's not to be belittled. So I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to understand it. And I can't solve every problem. There's some of these things they are going to be upset about, and we've got to look after that. We've just got to nurture that. I'd love to know, if you're a mum going through any transition with your kids, how you manage the expectations and all the rest of it. And not just in terms of the language. So I've done this survival guide for school, so that my daughter, who's the sociable one, who really relies on having that connection with her peers, so that she's got a few phrases she can use with people. And it's not just about those things. It's also about the emotional support that we're all going to need in the first 3 months, undoubtedly. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? We're doing the right thing. Okay, so how do you feel about moving to France? A little bit
In the middle.
Okay, so in the middle.
Don't like it. Sometimes happy. Yeah.
Okay. So some things, like mummy, a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And some things.
A little bit sad that I'm leaving my school.
Yeah.
And that I can't see my teachers ever again. But I will be able to see my friends. Okay, obviously. Because we gotta come back here and visit my nana. Get out of it!
What?
And then, yeah.
Is there anything about going to school in France that you feel a little bit happy about, sad about?
I'm a little bit scared that I haven't really realized what we're gonna have to do. Because, it's not really my language. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous for the school. Yeah.
Why are you most nervous about the school? What's the biggest worry about school? Because you make good friends. You always make good friends.
My biggest fear about French school is how I get the language. How going to a French school doesn't really mean learning the language. It's basically just teaching you stuff, but in the language of French, not really teaching you the language of French. So I'm a little scared about how that's going to work out.
There is a sheer volume of tasks to do because the French love bureaucracy, and so does, the UK tax government and legal services. There is a phenomenal amount of tax. I mean, just with moving house, there's a phenomenal number of tasks to do with your utilities and everything else. But moving to France creates its whole other headache, like opening a bank account, like getting set up. And they love their administration, don't they? But a lot of this, it compounds because it's not just one thing. It's like a million things, like your car and everything else. And, it's like an invisible mental load. And in many families, it tends to disproportionately fall onto one person. And that tends to be you, doesn't it? I know. And I see you, I am you. These checklists, ultimately, this visa application, it's on my plate. And I know what it feels like when it falls to you, where still the day-to-day running of things. But I also know that we're quite strong, and yeah, we'll probably find a way. We'll probably find a way. We have to find a way. Okay, so my checklist is quite comprehensive with all the nitty-gritty. And there's one thing that is a massive to-do list item. This part is where it's going to get interesting because you get to do something really for you. This is really important because this is about building an income from abroad. Okay, so I've spent years building other people's business systems and digital products, like for coaches and consultants and freelancers. Now I've got to apply all of that to my own life and the way I've been working. Because what does a location independent income actually look like? And running a business from Europe or in France, in a different country. Now, for us, this is going to be a combination of different things because there's my husband's property services business for second homes that he's building on the ground in France. This is his creation of a business in France. And then there's my side, which is the digital side that I'm going to be building, the online systems, the content, and a product that means I can serve people in a better way. Whether I'm in Chamonix, whether I'm in London, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It can't matter. So the key principle that I keep coming back to is that we're building this for presence. I don't want an income that's going to rely on me being in a specific place. So if I have to keep being in London for conferences, it's not going to work. If I have to be available at all hours, or having to build a big team, I don't want that. It has to work with this life. So I feel like everything is being stripped back. It's questioning everything. It's like a fresh start, but it also puts the pressure on because now we've got to earn. And I want to. For me, it's really important to have that level of independence. So I'm going to be documenting. So if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a therapist or anything, I'm going to be documenting on this channel me creating that. And actually, I'm going to be taking some people on the ride with me to build their thing out alongside me. So it's really interesting to go through my own process, I've got to say. And it's really testing my imposter syndrome to the limits. Okay, now we've got all the checklists. There's this 90-day window, and it looks something like in tandem, preparing the house alongside visa application and getting the supporting documentation. And at some point in this mix, getting the school place sorted and then building the business. So I feel like we're layers deep, aren't we? We've got like, if this was a project plan, like the Gantt chart would be full. Let's put it that way. The Gantt chart would be full. But there are so many things that are coming up already that we're starting to have conversations, like when my daughter says, when am I ever going to see my friends again? And you start thinking about, well, are my friends even going to come and visit? Especially when somebody indicates something that they just wouldn't. There's like this weird sign of grief about packing your house up. And it's not because you're unhappy. It's just because it means something. It means you're choosing something else. And you can still love what you're doing now and love all your friends and everything you've got here, just because you're choosing that. Like, I kind of feel that we're in a modern life now, and we should have the freedom to travel, to be location freedom, and still hang on to our friends. There's so many ways to keep in touch now. And there should be this, I feel like there's this lightness to getting rid of things and to have this freeing, liberating feeling about traveling. But then sometimes your friends ask, well, why are you leaving? Or your family ask, and you just feel guilty. And you realize you can't explain it in words that they would understand because it's not a logistical decision. It's a very emotional decision at an identity level. And I just think that's worth calling out, that, you can do all these checklists and we can do all these steps. Let's just really keep sitting with why we're doing it and what really matters. So if you're sitting here thinking, I want this, but I don't know where to start, I've got three places for you. Number one, just get that guide, because once you've got the checklist, like, it feels more manageable. I've taken some of the mental load and I've dumped it on a page for you. Number two, I would start the visa research. Figure out, either speak to an expert. There are plenty of them out there that will help you do your visa, and they will help you choose the right one for you and your situation, because it's not the same. Just don't let it be the thing that holds you back. And number three, I would really get clear on your income. Like, just mentally, just get in a space where you know where you're headed. And then if this is something that I can help you with, or something that's similar to what I'm doing, we can join forces. When you've got that clarity, it just stops it feeling like it can't ever happen, because you have a plan. And subscribe, because I'm sharing everything as we go. The wins, the chaos, the visa updates, the packing meltdowns, there'll be loads of that. French school adventures, and the business, building the income is going to be really, really important and top priority. I'd love to know where you are on your journey. Are you dreaming? Are you planning? Are you already doing it? Are you working for yourself and you want to create more freedom? I genuinely read every single comment. Right. 90 days. Let's go. Wow. 90 days. I really hope it all works out. Yeah, it will.